Hello and welcome to the Every Other Saturday podcast for a brand new episode this week where Rangers have went on a nice wee expedition to Loch Lomond and we've finally won a football match. So it looks like the treks up the hills and the swimming and the bonding sessions have worked well in our favour this time. Alongside, of course, Nico Raskin being back involved and providing a goal and a man of the match performance. Of course, that won't go amiss for Rangers being a better team, but it was needed. We needed a victory. We needed to go through to the semi-finals in the cup. We could not crash out of that. Without even getting to the semi-finals. So job done in that respect. So can't complain with that. But there's a lot to get into in terms of the before the game, during the game, still with the fallout after the game, about how the fans feel, and I think that's what we'll get into first as the protests that were outside Ibrox before the game. Of course, this was announced last week. It was one of those weeks again where it was filled with misery and all that shenanigans again. We just don't feel like this is going anywhere. As a fan base, it doesn't feel that we're taking the right steps to make Rangers a successful team. I mean, we're 11th in the league now, so that writes its own story. And we need to get back to winning ways on Sunday there, without a doubt. So it's been a disastrous start to the season. We're already at this point, and it's got to this point where I didn't really expect it to really get to. I don't think it's really got to this point with many other managers over the years. Sorry, but of course we've had our opinions and thoughts, and it's maybe been a bit divided with the support. But it feels like the support is aligned on what this is. And Russell Martin for me, even though we won the game, we performed better. He can't continue as Rangers manager. That statement still stays. You can't go to a protest and because we win the game, just immediately think, everyone's rosy again. This is again one defeat away for turning up another tune again. And as the UB said in their banners, it really is delaying the inevitable to me.
It's 100% delaying the inevitable. I mean, but Thursday we're playing a Genk. Are they not struggling in their league, Genk, or
Aye,
something?
they're struggling
I
as well. So
mean, so massive game for obviously both teams. On Thursday we'll get to that. But it's listen, there's no thing me here. He still has to go. You win the game, you got through, but doesn't change the fans' opinions. You have to go. Obviously, throwing the wee what was it, wee dog balls on the park as well. But they didn't bring labs and. I mean, could have had the Ducks chase tables, but no, these two have to go. So, as I said to you when we were there, like, Kevin think we must be wiping the sweat away from his head because he's another one that should be up there as well. Should be all three of them out, all three. But it doesn't change anything for me personally. He still has to go.
aye, I think that's the main thing. We attending the protest like we both did because we want obviously the Rangers to be a winning club again. It doesn't feel like we're going anywhere under Russell Martin as a team. It doesn't feel like our CEO is leading us into any glory as well. So these are things that have to be addressed and change. It doesn't look like there's going to be any imminent change on Russell Martin, unfortunately. Of course, we won the game at the weekend. You don't expect anything to come off the back of that, but in terms of if it's maybe another defeat, another poor result this week,
You,
I don't expect him to be going anywhere.
you can't. It gets to this point. It's at this point, as I say, where fans are outside, they're protesting. How can you not, even regardless winning the game, how can you not still just go, listen, that's you? Because now you're going to leave it when it's too late, and when there's a chance, there's still a chance for us to get silver. Where you know what I mean, you're going to leave it when there's really no chance for us to get in again. In
Aye,
terms of another manager, which is ridiculous. Patrick Stewart, I mean, that guy's he's got to go. He's got to go. There's no thing. I mean, we've seen it at the Windies. You know what I mean? People inside the building holding the signs up and everything. It's just, you know what I mean? Somebody's gran was on the fence, pure, like, holding the sign up. So,
aye,
I mean,
yeah,
it's everything's had enough, man, and it's just time. It's time to get these lot to go.
aye. I just think everybody is in the same viewpoint with it, really. It's the first time that we've properly seen it at Rangers where all the fans are aligned on like what
Mm.
is in the best interest of the club. And Russell Martin for me is still the same. We won the game, of course, to get us through, but I think that was the minimum required. We
Isn't
needed a
it?
performance to at least show something about this team and what these players have. So was happy to get the victory, but of course the protests at the start of the game kind of took took light. If we get into the game as well, I mean, what was it, 30,000 attended this game. Of course, the ticket sales were relatively low. Um, it's a game that's not on the season ticket, so can you expect people to fork out 27, 28 quid for a game when we're performing as badly as we are? I don't think so. So count themselves lucky to get 30,000 in the ground anyway. But I think up until Raskin put his head on that ball there, it was a lot more of the same. It was a lot more of the pedestrian passing side to side. We found ourselves, fortunately, saved by VAR this time with a handball, similarly to Shankland the week before. It's bounced off his arm as he's took control of the ball, and obviously Cornelius was unlucky to keep that one out. But aye, up until the Raskin goal for me, I didn't think there was anything about this team. Once again, it took one good cross in and Raskin to get his head on it, take open the game up for us. And then we scored a quick fire second with Bojan Miovski, but shouldn't really take that. It shouldn't really take us to score first to actually look like a confident team. We didn't look comfortable for 40 minutes of the first half, and we looked as if we were going into another halftime team talk, having to save the game in the second half again. But luckily for us, we got a couple of goals, and I would say in the second half we did look more like a Rangers team, more like a team going in the right direction, creating quite a good few chances. Hibs didn't really offer too much in the second half. Should have probably been an easier game for us really in the second half,
Well,
but we'll take the
that's
victory as it comes.
you take a victory, but that's what I said to you. Obviously, was like this is one of the games for me where after getting the first two goals, you should be going there and really sensing the danger and really looking to kill them off, getting three or four. First 45 was absolutely a snooze fest. You know what I mean? You're struggling to stay awake. And then they played some all right stuff, but I'm still, as I say, still just no for me. I've just not got anything. As I say, that's the second half. We really should have. I felt we should have killed it. And again, he came out and he gave the talkie. We've got to a match. Obviously, the first half with what we do in the second half. Yet again, another first half that easily just passed by. Didn't really attack it with anything. It was the same old. And I really just don't know how. It's not even just him. How many coaches that say the same thing that have been here previously? Do you know what I mean? Where it's like, oh, we need to match what we do in the second half of the first half. You still don't see a full 90 minutes for Rangers where you're like, that was a Rangers team you can be proud of. That was a team that was playing well for the full 90. It's always 45. It's never the full 90, and it's aye. I mean, it takes to putting your better. It's what happens when you put your best player on the team. Obviously, he gets a goal, and then he man of the match performance easily. Diomande obviously done really well beside him. He was a bit reckless as well, but that's what happens when you put your main man in. You know what I mean? And he's made Russell Martin look like an absolute right muppet.
Aye, over the course of the last few weeks anyway, since he was bombed out the team, and I mean Russell Martin didn't want to speak about it, and we never really had any clarity on the situation. He was maybe going to go on deadline day, but he's obviously here. He's a Rangers player. He's back in the team, man of the match, goal. You can't really complain with anything that Raskin's done and applied himself into the game. That looks like a player to me that's committed to the cause and for the club, and he's received an immense amount of support for the fan base in general. The reception he comes off the pitch is magnificent for him, and he's a player who should be treated like that. I don't think this season he's been great, to be honest. I think there's maybe be some stuff going on backstage and all that you might well, yeah, of course, Russell Martin's bombed him out. There's something that's happened there. I don't
Bet
think his
you'd be some.
performances have been at that level, so hopefully
He's not really been. Do you know what I mean? It's not really been hanging, but I bet you it's something as simple as he didn't like, pick his shoes up or something. You know what I mean? Put a bit of ham on Russell Martin's desk just to get a wee laugh. Do you know what I mean? That's what it's all
Aye,
been about.
I think coming through the reports of Barry Ferguson and that when they were dealing with asking it, he seems to be a guy that's opinionated. He seems to be a guy that's asking questions and wants to improve, and
Wrong with
he's
that.
doing all these things. And I think that's a good
You
trait
need
for
people
a
like
player to have. Aye, and I
that.
think
You need.
that's maybe the breakdown in the communication there, where he's maybe criticised Russell Martin, he's took it the wrong way, and whatever's happened.
I
But
think
it's
he's.
kind of behind everybody now. He's back in the team, and aye, our best player is actually going to be playing and starting for us now, which is definitely a good sign. But I think on your thoughts there as well. 90 minutes of the game. I mean, 45 are always passing us by. But lucky as you say to go in 2-0, and that was the game done. We could go into the second half with a bit more control. And I think on another day it's about 5-0.
That's what you.
You look at Gassama hitting the bar, you look at Shermiti going 1-on-1 with a good save with the goalie, and you look at Ant-Man at the end just putting one by the post. So we had a multitude of chances to build on that lead, and aye, on another day, it could have been a lot more. But I think we go through the lineup. I think the right kind of changes were probably made in here. Butland, of course, he didn't really do. He got a hand to the one that was called off by VAR, but wasn't really asked to do much else. I thought Hibs were really poor actually, considering the opportunity that they had there for them, the fans that they brung over. I thought they were really poor. I thought Tavernier was decent. I thought Suter and Cornelius looked a lot better together than a Suter and Giga or anybody else that's played there alongside John Suter. Quite like Cornelius so far. The last 1.5 games that he's played in the Hearts game where he came on, he looked all right. He was unlucky not to score. And I think he looks a lot more assured, doesn't look scared of going in for the tackle or the header or anything. So I think he could be the experience that we were kind of needing back there. And alongside Jaden Magoma, I think he's a guy that's consistently improving. He's maybe going under the radar a wee bit because of how things have been going at the time, but I think he's been quite consistent so far in a kind of underperforming team so far this season.
I say, as I said to you, you still can't rely on him for. I don't think you can rely on him fully for the full hanging, but he's done well. He's decent enough. I just wish he would actually make a forward run. Do you know what I mean? Actually, instead of just getting to the line and then just no doing it, mate. Obviously, a big Canadian boy at the back coming in, Matt was, I think that's massive for Suter. As I said to you, he needs somebody with a bit more experience next to him, a bit more composure and what have you. He looks decent enough, looks like a decent enough signing, and obviously sort of playing on the right, but probably his preferred position. I have to give him a wee bit of praise there, don't I? Done all right there. Yeah, I don't know, like praising John Suter really, but I'll give him a wee bit of praise there. And I backline was fine, mate, as I say, and it's more for, as I say, for me. Obviously, you get to the wide men and what have you. I just, again, I didn't feel they were obviously threatening enough or what have you. Mikey Moore, I mean, he, as I said to you, he must have something in his loan deal where it is obviously has to play so many games and what have you. But I just like, come on, just give wee Finlay something. I know he came on like for the last 5 minutes, but give Finlay a wee decent 45 or something. Give him a wee run out. Middle of the I thought Asgard was really well. Thought he done really well. And obviously, just want him to add a wee goal or two to his game. Obviously, Nico, man of the match, ran it. Diomande, as I say, he's a bit reckless. He looked like he was looking to get sent off for me. With some of the you just had to hook him off. And then obviously Miloski getting the goal, which is hopefully first of many more to come.
Aye, that's exactly. The midfield was decent. We were asking back in there. Gassama had a good few moments in the second half where he done a lot better than the first.
Aye.
Asgard, he looks like he's building his confidence up game by game. He's taking the ball in. He's being creative. He's using his skill, his frame as well. He's a big lad, so aye, he can hopefully flourish up here. And it's good to see him now getting minutes in this team. Mikey Moore, again, I'm not really ever really going to criticise Mikey Moore too much because I know he's a young guy and he shouldn't really be thrown into start games in my opinion at the moment. It should be the case where he's coming into games in the second half for 30 minutes to kind of build him up into that environment. But he was unlucky not to score in the end with the one that Miovski put in and the one in the second half where he had a shot for range. So I think it's going to be a development for him all season to get as good as he can. And Bojan Miovski, of course, getting under the way for Rangers with his goals. Good to see. He's in the right place at the right time, tapping. He was unlucky with his one that got called off with VAR. He was unlucky with the other one that get cleared off the line. So much better in terms of striker play for Bojan Miovski, and hopefully a lot more to come for him. Yusuf Shermiti, of course, came onto the field as well, was unlucky not to score. Put himself about a good bit. It looks like he's got a ton of pace. It looks like a guy that's needing a lot of nurturing as well, though, to become the player that hopefully he's going to be for us. But on the whole, I was happy leaving Ibrox for one thing. That's the main thing. We won the game. We looked decent in the second half. Could have scored a lot more goals, and we're through in the cup. I think that
But
was
then
the
I'll
main thing to come for that.
but then I'll throw that back to you. But how many times is that? But do you know what I mean? Where you're like, don't win the second half. And we get, you know what I mean?
And it has
Let's
to
see a
be all
full,
the time, aye.
let's see a full 90, man. And I don't know. As I say, It just has to go, mate. I'm not going to sit here and start going, oh, no, listen, maybe he just still hit, for me, he just can't continue. He just can't. I'm not going to
Nah,
change
you
my
see, you
mind
see
on
the
that at all.
protest during the game. You see the way the
I
fans
just
feel about
think,
it.
I just think, yeah, again, as I say, I just think a better manager, a better coach can get so much more out of these players than obviously, but he's got out of them so far. But I tell you what, maybe that's what we need to do to win games now is go to Loch Lomond. We need to go for a wee trek up the hills and swim in the water. Aye, I just can't believe that's what we had to do to win a game of football, man. Are you kidding me on?
I know, bizarre, bizarre. But aye, before we talk about the Gent game, we've obviously got an old firm tie in the next round for the semi-final. So, aye, massive opportunity to go and make the final against either Motherwell or St Mirren. You would fancy your chances going into the final against any of the two of them. So it's a massive hurdle to get over against Celtic, but it's one we need to be ready for. And that's in the start of November, I think. So there's a while to go. Will Russell Martin still be in charge for that? Who knows? But I think they'd be probably be better off if he wasn't at that point in time. But one game he will be in charge for again is going to be the Genk game on Thursday, the start of the Europa League campaign for us. Starts at Ibrox, which is nice against a Genk side who are underperforming at the moment. If we look at their recent form and their league position, they're sitting 14th in the Belgian Pro League. They've lost their last two games, are drawn and two victories in the last five as well. So they're a team that's not necessarily doing too well either in the league this season. And we can't sit here and say, we're overriding favourites for this because we're at home. But you look at the kind of form and performances we've been putting in. But I think this is again one of those games where it's a massive opportunity to build on that result for Saturday. If Russell Martin and his players are serious about really building some momentum, they need to go and win this game. It's as simple as that. You need to get yourself on the board for the Europa League. You've got 8 games that you're going to be playing. You need to get something out your home games, and that's going to be the reality where we are. We overachieved probably last season considering the squad and the feeling going into the campaign last year, and we finished in the top eight. So I feel like that should be the aim again, is finishing in the top eight. Because we've shown what we've got in Europe, and I really hope we can take all the positive stuff that we've done on Saturday into the game in Thursday against Genk. Of course, it'll be a tough game. It's a European tie. It'll be a bit different, but I do feel like the game will maybe open up for us to where we can hopefully play our own game. The team that I think will play is going to be near enough exactly the same with a couple of adjustments. The back five will stay the same. I think Connor Barron will come in for this one ahead of Diomande, and I would like to see Oliver Antman start this one out in the right hand side. I feel like that would give us a lot more balance going into the left and right channels. I feel that Oliver Antman has shown, and when he came off the bench there, that he's maybe been unfortunate not to be given a starting jersey for the last couple of games. We're still wondering what he's going to be all about. Still looking for him to kick on in a Rangers shirt, so hopefully he gets the nod here. Connor Barron, I think, is he's played decent when he's been called on, and I think it's going to be a rotation kind of situation with him and Diomande at the moment. But I think the rest of the team kind of stays the same. Miovski will lead the line, Gassama will be out on the left hand side, Asgard in the middle.
No, I totally agree with you, mate. That's the team for me personally as well on Thursday. I just hope he doesn't. Obviously, after winning a game, think right, I'll throw Gassama out on the right and play Ant Man on it. You know what I mean? Just don't. Aye, that's as I say, that's the team. Sort of picks itself, really, doesn't it?
I don't think there's much conversation really. Of course, Mikey Moore could come in, Diomande could start. It could be the exact same team that started the other day, but I think it's a team that maybe needs a bit of a freshen up in certain areas. And this would be the right thing to do because, of course, we're playing Sunday again. Sunday is going to be the bigger one of those games, but at Livingston away, a plastic pitch, always a tough venue to go against Davy Martindale. So, that's going to be one where we're going to need to roll up the sleeves and we're going to need to grind for the result. So, it would all be made better if we can go and win this game, play well, and take that confidence into Sunday because I think this is what the fan base and the team are primarily lacking at the moment is just any confidence going into any game. I mean, before we went to the game on Saturday, you're thinking Hibs are probably the favourites going into this year, and it shouldn't be the case. It should be us that are the favourites to win the game. So we'll see what happens. against Genk on Thursday, the start of the Europa League. We'll see what happens again with the fallout of that, and then into Sunday's game against Livingston. But we've
It's
got a real
massive.
opportunity now here to build some momentum.
To build some momentum, would obviously be massive for Russell Martin. But I just, I mean, even after Livingston, you look, you know what I mean, difficult games there as well. Falkirk away, obviously away in Europe as well and stuff like that. But I mean, this game here Thursday is, as you say, massive kicking point on in terms of Europe game there. Obviously you would normally say we're favourites, but at this moment in time, it's a bit could be MD's game. Really. I mean, we're not perfect as well. Obviously, we're sitting 11th. We're sitting 11th in the league. Um, that's disastrous. I really just aye, 11th, mate. We're 11th. That's great. I will see. I'm expect, as I say, Sunday's game's going to be that's going to be an absolute slog to watch. I feel at times as well. Also just because of the park as well. I really again plastic parks. He's in a top league. We're really still doing that. As I say, we'll see what happens these next two games. But my opinion doesn't change. The guy still has to go. I can't continuously do it. It's not good enough. We all know that. Obviously, as I say, we're sitting 11th. But at least we're going to Loch Lomond, guys. At least the players are going out, they're getting to know each other a wee bit better. Obviously, you could potentially do that, just on your free time, meet up and have a couple of drinks, play a couple of games of darts or whatever, or just do all that. You could do that on your free time, but the manager also brings you all together and goes, hey, we'll go to Loch Lomond, guys. Go and get your wee lettuce sandwiches and your wee sparkling waters, and we'll go to Loch Lomond, boys, eh? Fucking would
Aye.
I? Man.
Russell Martin with a packed lunches up to Loch Lomond, but aye,
11th in the league, Jack. 11th in the league.
that's something that has to change this week. We have to win our first game in the league. It's as simple as that. We cannot afford to drop any more points. We can't afford to not win this game. So that should be the attitude. It's as simple as that. And we could be sitting here come next week if we don't win that game in an even angrier situation than we are now. We can see this as a clear opportunity to kind of
I don't
platform and build some momentum going into these games now. It could all come crashing down known Rangers, so
just it's not even
we'll
just that
see.
anger, mate. It's just straight depression. Are you kidding me on? My team could actually be sitting like rock bottom, sitting 11th now. It could be sitting rock bottom, you know what I mean? Are you it's not even you don't it's not even like the obviously the rage anger you feel, but I think it's just like it's just straight depression, man. It's really
I
what
know.
it is. We
Aye.
shouldn't be in
And
this position. This is what you know what I mean? We should not be in this position whatsoever. These players we got a really good team. I'll argue with empty. We got a really good team. This guy can't get the best out of him. It's really simple as that. Raskin came in. Raskin went, look, I'm a boy here. These people love me. I love them. You know what I mean? Turned up, put a goal in. That's really the highlight for the game, obviously, at the weekend and what have you. And also Miloski getting his first. But this is a team for me that we should be there.
no, and it's up to them now to show that we should be there. It's as simple as just win these two games, get us on the board in the Europa League, and get us a win in the league for once. But aye, we'll talk about that next week. We can enjoy a bit of a depression free situation at the moment that
We
we've
got a wee
actually
vegan
decided
sausage roll.
to win a game. Aye, so aye, that's the podcast this week. Again, if you could let us know in the comments any thoughts that you have on Rangers at the moment, anything you disagree on, we'll get back to you there. And we'll be back next week covering those two games and hopefully another couple of good results. So we'll see you then.